Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. Just want to welcome all of you back here. Welcome, one and all. So, here is the electoral map according to Real Clear Polling. And we are talking that it is the 2nd of October. And right now, 219 to Vance, 215 to Waltz. So, they're saying it's pretty even with 104 toss ups. And what do they have in the toss up column? Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Minnesota now is in the toss up column, according to them. Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and the 2nd District of Nebraska. Now, I know that have been following me. My prediction so far is 345 Trump, 193 Harris. So let's take a look at that map and I'll show you how I got to that. And then we'll take a look at what's happening in the Real Clear Politics average as of today compared to what Biden and Hillary Clinton had at the same times. Take a look at the latest polls that are out there. We'll see what's on the Twitterverse and we'll go from there. So right now, let's go to the Real Clear Politics, Real Clear Polling, my map, where I have 345 to 193. So as you can see here, folks, 345 to 193. How did I get that? Well, as we were basically talking, I've got Nevada as leaning, Arizona. I think Trump's going to flip New Mexico. My reasoning is you can see a bunch of other videos that I put out there. The Hispanic Latino vote is shifting to the right. I believe if Arizona is 5 or 6 points, that's going to bleed over into New Mexico. I believe the southern part of Colorado the same. I think this is all one big domino here. If he does end up losing it, and I'm wrong, I wouldn't be upset, but it's not going to be by a lot. But I really think he has a good chance of flipping it. And everybody is basically saying New Mexico is going Democratic. They're saying Minnesota is going to stay Democratic. New Hampshire is going to stay Democratic. They're saying Virginia is going to stay, in the Harris column, Democratic. Nebraska too, they're saying is going to stay as Democratic. So if you go along with the flow, what's what are you putting out there for yourself? Now, I'm not basically saying like some people are saying that, California is going to flip or New York is going to flip or New Jersey is going to flip. No. But are those numbers down significantly from when Clinton and Biden were running? New York, for example, Biden was winning by 23 points. Their polls now, they're showing in single digits between 6 and 9 points. You've got a 17 to 23, like a 17 to 19 point shift to the right in New York City. I mean, I don't think Trump's, that would be, if he wins New York City, then this is a complete wipeout. We all know that. The same way if somebody were to say if Harris were to win Florida and Texas, it would be a wipeout. But I'm just keeping it to those numbers. Minnesota, I've been saying for the longest time, Minnesota is in play. That Waltz really didn't do anything in terms of capturing the electoral vote for Minnesota. And guess what? RCP now has it. And we'll take a look at, what the averages are and what they've been previously before for other candidates on the Democratic side. Wisconsin, I think Wisconsin's going to go it's going to be, 3 to 5 points. There's Wisconsin for you, folks. Michigan, I believe same thing. 3 to 5 points. Pennsylvania, I wouldn't be surprised if it's over 5. Virginia, I think it's going to win it by about 1 to 2 points. I never thought North Carolina was in play. I thought they just put that in there as pundits do and the legacy media. So it's just one more state to add. And, so everybody starts watching and saying, what's going on in North Carolina? What's happening over there? And then New Hampshire, I believe, is going to flip by a point and a half. And Nebraska, too, I believe that's going to fall. Relatively thin margin, but I believe Trump is going to be able to do it. Is what we're seeing happening in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, all these places. Georgia, obviously. Now, let's take a look and see where these polls are showing and then go from there, all right? So just a second before we get to the individual polling and what was happening historically, if you go to Real Clear Polling, you'll see that if you take away the toss-up states, well, they've got Trump-Vance winning 281 to 257. Now, as I said before, I'm at 345 to 193. Would I be upset, folks, if it ends up that Nevada goes blue, New Mexico stays blue, Minnesota stays blue, Nebraska 2 stays blue, New Hampshire stays blue, Virginia stays blue? Of course not. What do I care? As long as North Carolina, Georgia, and PA are red and he's over 270, that's all I care about. But it would be nice. It would be nice, folks, to get those extra 75 electoral votes sweeping across the Rust Belt and taking VA and these others in the process. Anyways, let's go to what's happening right now in Pennsylvania, the Electoral College, and take a look at that. So as you see here, it's a tie. And who do they have here? They've got Emerson, Trafalgar, Fox, Atlas, which was the #1 pollster in terms of being, how correct they were in terms of, they weren't that off. They were off by 0.2 in the popular vote. 0.2, folks, 0.2. Then you've got Cook, which is Bloomberg, very leftist, Rasmussen, Susquehanna, Remington Research, Muhlenberg, Inside Vantage, Marist. So what they have right now, it's tied. What happened October 2nd in 2020? Biden was up by 6.8. Clinton was up by 2.4. That's how much they were off by. When Biden ended up winning it less than 1, and Trump took it from Clinton by less than 1. But as you can see, that's what's happening right now in Pennsylvania. And we'll take a look and see where Atlas, for example, has got Trump up +3. Trafalgar +3. Insider Advantage +2. Remington +1. Now you do have Bloomberg with an outlier +5. I mean, Bloomberg, those guys. Let's take a look and see what's happening in the state of North Carolina. So here's North Carolina. Trump right now in the politics average is up 0.6. But as you can see, in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in the last 8 polls, he's been up in 6 of them. Rasmussen back on the 22nd of last month had him at +3. New York Times +2. Insider Advantage now +1. Quinnipiac has him +1. The Washington Post has him up +2. Emerson has him +1. At this time in the history, Biden was up by 0.7. Trump was up by 0.3. North Carolina, he took it. What's happening? Let's go and take a look at Wisconsin. Oh, you know what? Let's take a look at Georgia. Take a look at Georgia. Here we were at Georgia. He's up 1.5. Quinnipiac has him +5, folks, +5. Atlas +1. CBS +2. Cook Political has him +2. New York Times +4. All within the last couple of weeks and even sooner, just a few days ago. RCP average has him up +5. Biden at this time was 0.3. Trump in Georgia was up almost 5, which is where Quinnipiac puts him. And Fox is the outlier, having Harris at +3. So that's what's happening in Georgia. So what's happening in Arizona? Trump so far is showing he's +1, 1.7, nearly 2. Emerson 3. Inside Advantage +1. USA Today, which is, I mean, left-leaning, Suffolk has him +6. +6. And this day, October 2nd, Biden was up 3.1. Trump was up 2.5 in 2016. Fox News has him as +3. New York Times, CNN has him as +5. All again, anywhere from the last 2 weeks up until day before yesterday. So there you have him doing quite well in Arizona. Now, let's take a look at what's happening in Wisconsin. Wisconsin, Harris is up 0.8, all right, almost a point. Trafalgar has Trump up by 1. CNN, New York Times has Harris up by 2. Atlas has got Trump up by 2. Then you got all the rest of them, Marquette, Cook, and Bloomberg, all at 4, 2, and 3 respectively. Again, at this time in Wisconsin, Biden was up by 5.8, nearly 6 points. Clinton was up by 4.7. We all know what happened in Wisconsin. Trump won that by, I think, 2 or 3 almost. And we all know what happened in Wisconsin with the things that went on there, rule changes and everything. But 6 points, folks. They're showing Harris +1. So if they're underestimating Trump and they're off by 2, this goes to Trump. And just on historical things that we've seen, what happens? Underperformed 2016, 2020. Let's take a look and see what's happening in Michigan. They've got Harris 1.3. And I've got news for you folks. I'll tell you why I think Michigan is going to Pennsylvania. You've got the Latino vote and the Hispanic vote, which is shifting away. You've got the black vote. 1 in 4 black men under the age of 50 voting for Kamala. 8 to 9% black women voting for Kamala. Black vote across the board, they said, is like 83% for Kamala. You know, Obama had upwards of in the mid-90s, like 94, 95, 96%. Even Biden got 92. That was one of the reasons why Clinton failed, because she didn't capture that black coalition that Obama made. And so right now, according to CNN poll, when they're talking, Harry Anton was talking about that, it's at 83. She needs to be higher. Latino votes are falling historically in terms of percentage of the population voting. Is Harris still going to get the percentage of, she's going to get she's going to get a large number, more than Trump in the black vote, but not what she needs. She's going to probably have more. I wouldn't be shocked if Trump gets a majority of the Latino vote, it's over. Would I be shocked? No. Would I be shocked that it's within 4 to 5 points? No. But she needs to be in the teens, folks, in Latino vote, and it's not there. And then finally in Michigan, the Muslim vote. Show you some of the stuff on Twitterverse where it's showing right now Trump's at 42% Muslim vote, Harris is at 41. If he's tied with the Muslim vote, folks, it's over. I've been talking about this for a long time. Check out our other videos on what's happening with the Muslim vote. And then remember, Venn diagrams that Kamala loves so much, Kamala. Well, Venn diagrams, you put black vote, Muslim vote, and where they intersect, black Muslims, black Muslim young males. Majority, 85, 90% going for Kamala. And as you see here, they're showing here the RCP average only because there were so many outliers and so many things from the very beginning of what was happening that just only recently Atlas Intel gave it +4 and Trafalgar Group +2. But other than that, it's all been Harris because they've been spinning this story, this narrative that Michigan's in the bag. And then what about Elissa Slotkin? Just a few days ago, coming out and saying that Harris is underwater in their polls, not just down by, a half a point or even under freaking water. That's what the internal polls are also telling Kamala Harris as well, folks. So that's Michigan in a nutshell. Let's go to Nevada, where they've got Harris up 1.1 in the RCP average. Insiders got him up +1 for Trump. Atlas Intel, it's got in Nevada has, Harris up 3. So if you're basically saying that, Atlas Intel was the top pollster back then, you've got to take this at some consideration. But then you take a look at saying where Arizona is, why isn't that developing the same in Nevada? I happen to think that this is an outlier, and I think Atlas Intel is going to do something even closer, and I think this number is going to come down. But if you take a look again, Trump in 2016 was very, very close. Clinton eventually ended up winning it by around 2, I believe, or whatever. Biden was up by 5.3 at this time on October 2nd in 2020. And that was close, as well. Now, Rasmussen has him up by +1. Remington's got him +1. Bloomberg has got Nevada up +7. So if you're going to take umbrage with Atlas Intel and allow me my little bit of wiggle room there, well, what are you going to say about Bloomberg then? If Bloomberg is basically saying, +7, and they have been consistently way off. Anyways, folks, let's take a look and see what's happening in the Twitterverse and how that all sort of ties in with why I'm thinking 345 to 193. So let's take a look at Twitter. We'll do that right now. Folks, there's so much overlap with so much up on Twitter on interactive polls, political polls. Eric Daugherty is a very nice place to go to. He's down in Florida. And here's some of the stuff that he's saying. He's thinking Trump actually leads Wisconsin by 1 to 2. Might be generous as Wisconsin was wrong by about 6 points in the final RCP average, both in 2020 and 2016. So Trump +1 to 2 is actually within the margin of error. Take a look at this. Just like Pennsylvania, Republicans have eclipsed their 2020 mail-in ballots request totals while Democrats are not. Take a look at what's happening in North Carolina. So in North Carolina, folks, look at this. The mail-in ballot request total so far. In 2022, about 118,000. So far, about 95,000. Look at where Republicans are at. They had like 47,000 requests. They're already at nearly 65,000. So Democrats, down as a proportion from both 2022 and 2020, lagging behind their midterm year requests, but Republicans, they say are not. So as you can see here, mail-in voting requests, Democrats down 11.2%. Republicans are up 5.6. Net GOP shift has gone almost 17 points to the Republicans. Altogether, total requests for mail-in voting are down nearly a little over 250,000, almost 262,000. New national poll, Rasmussen, the 5-day average, basically showing that Trump is up to 49 to 47. Likely voters, almost 1,800 likely voters. That was from September 25th to 26th to the 29th, 30th, including October 1st. They do a 5-day, they do every day. And then they take that 5-day average. Here's another thing. Virginia, very close. Republicans are holding a close 3-1 lead over Democrats among the lowest propensity voters. These are people that have not voted in the last 4 elections or less than once. Once in the 0 to, I think, less 0 to 1 time in the last 4 election cycles, so last 16 years. There's a new Virginia poll by VCU, 762 likely voters. They've got Harris plus 10. Plus 10? Wonder if these are some of these push polls that are out there. I would say she's ahead. I don't think she's up plus 10. How can she be up plus 10 and losing 17 to 19 points in New York and losing 12 to 13 points in New Jersey? And I don't mean losing the state. I mean in terms of a shift from where Biden was plus 23 in 2020 and Kamala's up plus 6 to plus 9. It's the same thing there. Just see if you... So this is from Rasmussen. 3-point nationally in the latest daily tracker. So as you can see, 26th, 29th is tied. It's up plus 3 on the 30th, up plus 3 on the 1st of October. Pennsylvania mail just got redder than expected today. RNC's recruited 200,000 volunteers, 5,000 attorneys for the 2024 election. Polymarket, presidency, R plus 2. Nate Silver, given Harris a 56.5 point chance to win. That's up 13.2 from before. Gives Trump a 43.3. This is the one I was talking to you about. It says, Kamala Harris election prospects are DOA in Michigan if this ends up happening. Arab American voters wanted to show this to you. Trump is up plus 1. Remember at this time, Biden had 59% of the vote in 2020, according to Zogby. 42 to 41. Let's go a little deeper and see what this says. And here's he going. So she's losing the ground, the Latino vote, the Arab vote, the Jewish vote, the Catholic vote, but somehow she's winning. It is crazy how Kamala is losing 15 to 20 points with all minority demographics plus men, and they're still putting out Harris plus 6 General Electric polls. Shows that they are all going off the 2020 numbers without the shifts. We're going to see a Trump plus 5. And you go, dang, didn't know Arab Americans were so racist. So exactly, that's what we're talking about here. Arab American Institute, evenly divided in the 2024 polling. Here's Wisconsin, full field. Harris is up by 5. She's up by 5. I don't know who's doing this poll here. I don't know who's doing this. Let's see if we can drill down. Oh, Marquette. All right, that's why. Marquette. About 800 likely voters, full field. I mean, Stein. Well, I guess, 1%, but she's going to get about 40 to 45% of the, Muslim, the Arab American vote or whatever. So, in Wisconsin, whatever, I'm sorry, I was from Michigan, but I still think she's going to get a larger percentage of the vote of whatever Muslim population happens in Wisconsin too. That demographic is not changing. It is not shifting at all, folks. It isn't. And here's something that Pennsylvania, Trump's taking the lead in the poly market again, 51 to 49. And the last thing is Barris of the People's Pundit. Their prediction is that Trump has the lead in the Rust Belt. It's come to pass. It's true. Kamala's path is really beginning to narrow, which is what we've been saying for the last couple of months. Barris is basically saying that J.D. Vance has clear strength in the 2028 primary. And who else is going to take up the mantle after Trump in 2024 when Trump's presidency is over after 4 years in 2028? Is there anyone that's going to challenge J.D. Vance? Oh, there might be some people. But Vance is already the front runner for 2028. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. Let us know what you think. Give me your predictions. Tell me where you think the strength lies in Trump's victory path, his electoral path. You think I'm nuts on some of my calls for like New Hampshire and Virginia, New Mexico, Nebraska too, Minnesota, Virginia? Or do you think I'm pretty spot on? Anyways, my final thoughts. When you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.